welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll discuss and talk about SQL Server stored procedures. What stored procedure is, why we use it, and what are the advantages of using stored procedure over inline queries. All right, and how we can perform insert, delete, update, select operation using stored procedures. All right, so let's quickly open the SQL Server Management Studio. So I'm using SQL Server Management Studio and the version is 18. So I hope you have installed your SQL Server. If you didn't install, then go to Microsoft.com and download and install that SQL in your machine. So this is my local server name, desktop-this/SQL Express. So for your machine, it should be a different name. So select your server name and click on connect. So it will connect your local server. As you can see on screen, this is your Object Explorer. It contains all the database list, login and other features. So if I expand this databases, so it shows me all the system databases as well as whatever I have created so far. So if you expand this, so these are pre-installed databases which are system databases, and these are I have created manually. All right. Now you can see there is a button, new query, click on it. So it opens a new query window. So here, once you click on this new query, it directly take master as a default database. If you want, you can create a new database, but for this particular video, I'm using this master. So let's quickly create a new table. So let's say create table CRUD stored procedure. I'm using a random name. So identity, and that is primary key, name, varchar, agent, address is varchar. So hit the command. So you can see command completed successfully. If I try to select the columns, select star from CRUD SP. Oops, I misspelled the name, but anyways. So you can see ID, name, age, and address. So for this particular table, we'll create a stored procedure and perform all the operations. So to create a stored procedure, the command is create procedure and the procedure name. So there are two keywords. One is complete procedure and another one is proc, P-R-O-C. So either one you can use. So that is a shorter form. So we'll use proc. So create proc and then the procedure name. So USP, let's say employee management has begin and end. So this is the outer body of stored procedure. So in this particular video, we are going to perform your select, insert, update, and delete. So what basically we can do, if you want, we can create four stored procedures respective to each operation. One for select, one for insert, one for update, one for delete. But instead of creating four, stored procedures, we can create a simple one stored procedures, and based on a flag, or you can say based on a type, we can differentiate for which block it should execute it. All right, let me show you how we can do that. First of all, let's add some variables. So the first is ID, int, and the name. We are going to use the same, variables for the stored procedure. Let's copy and paste it over here and use at the rate of with every variable. So for this stored procedure, we are having four variables: ID, name, age, address, and last one is type. So varchar 100. So now, if here, let me check if at the rate type equal select, then it will go to this block begin and. So let me copy this and paste. If the type is insert, then it goes to this block, and if type is update, so it will go to this block, and finally if the type is delete, then it goes to this block. So simply for the select, copy this command and paste it over here. So if I pass type select, then it goes to this block. It skips these three blocks, all right? And if we type insert, then it goes to this block. So let's write the command. So insert into the table name. Sorry, I misspelled this. So name, age, address, values. So if you are new to SQL Server, then I have created a complete SQL basics video in my channel. So you can go to my channel and go through that video. It will, give you all the basics to start with SQL Server. So let's say values is not this values. For name, we will use the name. For age, we will use age. And for address, we will use address. All right. So this is how we can insert data through a type. So if we come to the updates, so let's update the table. So update the table name. Table name is this, and then set. Set name equal to at the rate name, age equal at the rate age, and address is equal to address, where ID is equal to at the rate ID. So whatever ID we will pass, it will go to the table and update the respective records. Now comes to the delete part. So here delete from the table name, where we will pass ID. So based on ID, we will delete that particular record ID. So we are done with our stored procedure. So let's select this complete block and execute. You can see command completed successfully. So if you go to your master database and go to your programmability, and here we have a separate section for stored procedures. If you expand that, right click on this stored procedure and refresh. So you can see USP employee management. Here you can see that USP employee management, and if you expand this, so it will show you all these parameters: ID, name, age. So there is a block for parameters. Expand this. So you can see ID, name, age, address, type. You can see these five variables are available here. So let me close this. So we have created our stored procedure. Now let's try to call it. So to execute or to call a store procedure, we will use exec, that is a short form execute, then the procedure name, and then we need to give the values of these respective variables. So first we will call the select block. So for select, ID should be 0 and name is blank, age is blank, not blank, 0, because we have used integer for this age variable, and address also blank, and then type should be select. So if I execute this command, so you can see we got a blank table because as of now there is no record. All right. So now let me copy this same, paste it over here. Now we will use this insert command. So for that insert, we don't need to pass any ID column because we already use int identity. So it automatically create a ID column or ID value. So for name, let me give my name, and for age, let me give my age. That is not correct one. And for address, let's say India. And type is insert. If I select this command and execute, you can see one row affected. And if I try to execute the select, so now we are getting one value. Perfect. Let me also add another value. So we have two rows in our table. Perfect. So now we will use our update block. So let's copy this command and paste it over here and change the type, copy and paste. So let's say we want to change this name and this age. All right. Or let's say we need to change everything, name, age, India. How we can do that? So let's say we want to change name from Aradhya Deshwal to Aradhya only. So let's give her the correct name, and let's say age is 2, and here let's say Haryana, India. All right. So select this command, and here we need to pass a already passed ID, and based on this ID value it will search to this entire table, and whenever it matches with the ID value it goes to that particular record and update all the values. So for this we need to pass ID. So Aradhya's ID is 2, so let's pass this 2, and let me change age to 5. So select this command and execute. So you can see one row affected. If I again select the records, so you can see the values has been changed from Aradhya Deshwal to Aradhya, age 3 to 5, address India to Haryana, India. So that is how you can use your update command. All right. So let's also add another row and select your entire table. So as of now we have 3 rows. All right. So now the last operation is delete. How we can do that? So select, copy this command and paste, and copy this delete. If you go to that section, so for delete we only need ID, nothing else. So let's say if we want to delete that third row with the ID value 3, so we don't need name value, we don't need age, we don't either need address, but we need ID and type. So select this command